Bravo. Bravo.
Excellent.
Oh, fantastic.
Man, that was
Woo.
that was a good film.
That was an excellent film, James. And the film we're talking about is 500 Mile Per Hour Storm by the Asylum, our good friends at the Asylum.
They never let us down.
They didn't let me down on this one. That is for certain. You know what the key to it, the magic of this movie? There's a lot to choose from.
There is a lot, but what do you feel is the magic behind the film?
If I had one word, consistency.
Correct.
I mean, they formed this narrative,
Mhm.
and they had these characters, and they had this plot and the excitement and the special effects, but the one thing they never let go of was consistency, was continuity. Things flowed one to the next, and it made perfect sense.
Attention to detail.
Well put.
There we have it.
Yeah. I think if it's worth putting on film, it's worth putting on film correctly.
Correct. And hey, if you're gonna go back and do editing, we're gonna edit the crap out of it.
Well, you would think because you're in the editing suite, you've seen the footage, you want to make sure things match.
Yep. Flow.
You've got a chance to go back over it and make sure there are no plot holes or things are happening here but they're not happening there.
Right.
It's all ironed out. And that's what 500 Mile Per Hour Storm is all about. I have to say, James O, before we get into the meat of our review of 500 Mile Per Hour Storm, I was really, I was entertained by this movie. Probably for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
But I watched all 90 minutes of it.
I did too, and I tell you, at first I was like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to go ahead and watch all this through, or do I want to give a review on the first 2 seconds or so? And I'm glad I kept watching because it was 90 minutes of fun.
Yes, it was. James, as we're getting started here, I'll read the plot summary provided by our good friends at IMDb.
Okay.
And I'll just read this real quick and then we'll get to it.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. 500 Mile Per Hour Storm. When an energy experiment goes haywire, a rash of massive hurricanes rips across North America. A high school science teacher must get his family to safety before the hurricanes merge, creating a hypercane with the power to wipe the U.S. off the map. Oh, James, hypercane. Hypercane.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's a science experiment.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly was that experiment?
What it is you have a new type of energy, green energy. It creates a storm.
Not just any storm, though, right?
A hypercane.
A hypercane? What is that?
The end. I mean,
Wow. You bring a good point up, and I don't know if the filmmakers did this on purpose, but the politics of this film are interesting. At the very beginning of this film, there's a scientific research station off the coast of America. I don't know if it's East Coast, West Coast.
somewhere in water.
It's water.
Great Lake.
Not so Great Lake.
Either or.
It's based in water. And there's this great soliloquy, this speech. This guy, head of this project, says, "No more offshore drilling. It is now a bright, shine future for clean, renewable resources." Push the button.
Boom. And we're good.
Hypercane.
Yep. That's one of my favorite things about this movie is you always hear destruction from oil, fossil fuels, man-made disasters, which this is still man-made, but
Right.
I like that they go with we're green, we're going to hug a tree while we do this.
Man.
Oh wait, we just destroyed 20 million acres.
You're going to have to hug a tree, otherwise the hypercane will suck you up in the
There you
atmosphere.
go.
Man, that's the lesson to be learned.
And I have noticed if a small branch hits you in the face
Yeah.
and you're near this hypercane, it will knock you to the ground.
Man.
That boy.
Ah!
And the outside of this facility is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're thinking, wow, what's this control room going to look like?
It's going to be so.
And evidently you need a 10 by 10 room with a laptop and a flat screen on the wall.
And about 3 people manning that whole
That's
facility.
it. That's all you need.
Yeah. Economy. That's when you're using the green energy to run
Correct.
a laptop because you don't need all those other energy sucking devices.
I've learned this recently.
Yeah.
They're running lean. It's a lean process.
It's a lean process, and I cannot speak highly enough about a lean process and when it's clearly defined.
There you go.
There we have it. That's all you need. Efficiency.
That's correct.
The laptop takes very little energy.
That's right.
Green energy. Okay, so we have our hero played by Casper Van Dien.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all may remember him from Starship Troopers and other movies that I can't.
I thought he did pretty good in that movie, but since we're not on Starship Troopers, in this film, it was very entertaining.
James, I think it's time we tell America, our dozens of viewers out there, what's so entertaining about this movie.
The CG, everything that's put together, it doesn't coincide with the actual footage.
Mm-hmm.
They use scenes repeatedly in a couple of areas.
Recycling.
A lot of overacting.
There is a lot.
If you can overact,
why not just say a line when you can say a line?
yes.
Yeah. I'm acting the hell out of this part.
This made me think I could be an actor or a director or a writer.
Yeah, if these guys can do it.
Or an extra.
I'm going to play the rain. They need somebody to play the rain. So Casper Van Dien and his wife and his son, who's really, really irritating. I was hoping the Hypercane would take him.
Yes.
They live in this palatial estate, even though he's a high school science teacher. And they get in, their vehicle is just Chevy Equinox. And what is amazing about this vehicle is no matter how far they drive, and they drive through all this rain and wind, it never runs out of gas.
Evidently that is a green energy car as well. Maybe it's electric. Because, yeah,
Woogie woogie.
I mean, the whole movie they're driving.
They are moving.
Mean,
and I'm
I would
moving.
say they probably spend, and this is kind of over the top, 15% out of the car?
Yes, there's more in the car than out of the car. Which brings up a good point about in and out of the car. In the sequences where they are moving and they're shooting from inside the vehicle, you got the actors, there's rain hitting the vehicle and the windshield wipers are going like this. However, when it's an external shot and you see the vehicle on the road, obviously they've CGI'd the rain in, and there's no windshield wipers at all moving on this vehicle. Again, something you'd think would come up in editing.
I'd like to know what your favorite scene is in this movie.
My number one favorite scene, if I could point to one thing.
Correct.
Okay, this is, it is, I remember, actually, viewers, I actually stopped the movie and called James and told him this is my scene. It was that word they had to pause the world to go and call James. Casper Van Dien and family are in the Chevy Equinox, which never runs out of gas. This thing, it goes all over the place, runs and runs and runs, high rates of speed, we think, never runs out of gas. Anyway, they're running away from the storm front. They crest this hill. You can see the storm front behind them, right? There's debris in the road. They got to get out of their vehicle to move the debris or check out the debris. And behind them, in the shot, you see a very busy interstate with cars going back and forth, and you see planes in the sky and vapor trails. No effort whatsoever was made to make this look like a desolate America. Now, James, what would you say is your single favorite point of the film? Is there one scene that really sticks out?
The scene I enjoyed the most is halfway through the film, and they are in two Hummers going between these buildings. You got plenty of room, but what they're doing is dodging old cars sitting there. I guess they supposed to have been thrown there from the storm.
Right.
And on the outside, you see them barely swerving, but inside the car, and if you want to.
Oh, yes, I'd be happy to.
You know, it's like
ready
this.
for my close-up.
And on the inside, you have that going on.
It's acting.
It is.
Hey,
Not
Asylum,
overacted
call
either.
us. No, not at all, because we could bring that. 600 mile per hour storm is dying to be made. Now, James, it may be time for us to give our rating. 0 out of 5 sloths. Where do you rank this one?
On this one, I'm going to give it 3. I was originally, when I first started watching it, I was going to probably go way lower. But as I kept watching, I was like, I'm enjoying this film. And for just the enjoyment, I had a good time watching it. I'm going to give it 3.
I have to agree 100% with you. 3 sloths is my rating as well. Was it a big head scratcher? Did it really affect me intellectually? No. Did I enjoy watching it? Absolutely. Probably not for the reasons the Asylum wants me to. I spent a lot of time saying, oh, that doesn't work there, and that changed from scene to scene. It was sunny over there, now it's raining. But I watched it. 90 minutes. Didn't stop except to call James and say I found my favorite part. 3 out of 5 sloths all the way.
And well worth it.
And we've got 2 videos coming your way in the near future. We're going to do our top 5 horrific films of the 90s. As a follow-up to our very successful top horrific films of the 80s video. that all 12 of you have watched, I'm sure. And then what's our next movie, James?
That would be Abraham Lincoln versus zombies.
Versus what?
Zombies. Who don't like Abraham Lincoln? One of my faves.
Oh yeah.
And then you got zombies, which I could watch zombies all day long.
7 years ago, I killed some zombies.
That's right.
Can't wait. We'll be reviewing that early next week. Keep an eye out for that, if you dare. And I guess that's pretty much it, isn't it, James?
Yeah, that's it. Tell your friends. We have a solid 12 viewers constantly. Let's bump that up to 14.
Dare to dream big.
We do. So
Man, I was going to say baker's dozen, but 14's good.
14's good to me.
It works for me.
So tell your friends, share. If you're on Facebook, share please. And we just thank you for watching.